Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? So, welcome to All SEO Basics. This is a podcast with Pav. I'm here on behalf of All SEO Basics.com, and today we're going to be talking about SEO, mainly about the Google's releases of the core updates. So that's what we're going to be talking about, and I've also written a blog here. There's a link you guys can read on All SEO Basics. If you type in behold as Google releases a November 2021 core update, you'll be able to see it. It's been posted on November the 23rd. Now, what we're going to cover in this podcast, and also a YouTube video here, so we're live, you can see me. Hello everyone, give me a wave. I've been doing SEO and search engine optimization for maybe about 15 years now. And over the years, we went through the Panda update, then the E update, and all sort of different things. But what we want to look at today is mainly the core updates. Google, they tend to release many core updates throughout the year. And as we've noticed now, we've had one, in February and March, then, 2 to 3 different core updates. We just had one in November, and there seems to be a significant change in the way we see the analytics. Now, there's always going to be some winners, and there's always going to be some losers, with some companies gaining a lot of ranks and some companies losing ranks. So the main goal, guys, is not to panic, as Google releases 3 to 4 main core updates every year. So why does Google run core search updates? The main goal is to improve the customer and the end user search results. So, to improve the actual end user experience. And Google, spends billions on improving the artificial intelligence systems that they have installed on to serve an end user high expectation results. It's to improve the actual AI and the way the technology is improving, obviously. So we get many kind of different. We get many different core updates from Google based on the seasonal changes. For example, holidays, Christmas, unfortunate pandemics, like we've had the pandemic kick in, and the SERPs, and as soon as the pandemic kicked out, we've had huge changes in the way search was actually working. So you have to take into account that Google search is trying to adapt to the changes. For example, in November we've got the Black Friday, and boom, I received an email from Google Ads saying Google's changing the way the search results, blah blah blah. Try to add a few more ads to your website, make sure your website is optimized. And suddenly pages that seem to be getting a lot of traffic and got Google ads on them have been pushed up in ranks. So Google's, is a way of marketing. They doing things so that, there's an increase in sales for everyone. They want everyone to win. Obviously, it all depends on how you've optimized your website. But the good news that the core updates enable new websites to gain a spot. You see, let's say there's a website that's ranking first, right? And there's another website that's second and third. And let's say these websites have been ranking, let's say website A has always been first, but then you've got C that's second, and then you've got like some other website that's at the bottom, right? There's got to be changes throughout the years. So certain website has to drop and a new one will come in. Let's say someone makes a website a few months ago, someone made a new website, and the content is so much better than what's already available. Therefore, they deserve a chance to get that first position. So Google's going to go, right, we'll put you there and see how you perform. Google will change and alter things around, and then look at the bounce rates, look at how your website is performing, right? How long does the visitor stay on website? How good is the interaction? How good is your website? Is it optimized? Is it fast? Does it meet the new core website updates? And all such stuff like that, okay? And we will go deeper into that. This is the first part of this podcast, obviously here. We're live on YouTube as well. But what we need to take into account is Google's giving us the opportunity and giving opportunity to everyone to rank. So when there's a core update and you see a drop in traffic, do not panic. That's the main thing that a lot of people do. And as we can see, Barry Schwartz here said Google is rolling out a core update. the November 2021 core update right before the holiday, the shopping season will likely roll out during. So people were talking about it. People knew that it was going to come. So guys, what is the checklist to consider to improving the rankings? My main aim is to tell you guys, do not try to, if so far there hasn't been a significant change in this November. No one's seen significant movement, just small movements, losing few subs and few keywords, few positions, but also gaining positions. There will be time where you will lose a lot and win a lot, but it's always changing. So my advice is, do not try to change your website when there's a core update for at least 4 weeks. Just leave it as it is. Keep producing the same content you always do, and after everything stopped, then try to improve and see what you can, where you can go, what you've lost and where you can improve. The main thing that you need to look at are these 10 points. Now we're going to be looking at all of these 10 points coming up in all the podcasts. So I'm just going to outline these 10 points. Now if you just started watching, make sure you subscribe. If you're on a podcast, make sure you follow this podcast. We're going to be looking at all these different things. Now I've been doing search engine optimization for many years, so I'll give you all the information that I know and how I have managed to gain a lot of traffic, around 50,000 users in my first year of blogging, and I have got proof. I will show you everything later on, but I'm not here to guarantee success, but I'm here to just advise and give you guys, point you in the right direction. So the first thing you need to do is get your SEO right. That's like the main thing. You need to make sure that your website is search engine optimized. Make sure you got your header tags, your meta tags. Make sure you got your alt tags on your images. Make sure there's no errors, right? So if you got Google Chrome, you press that F12 on your keyboard, run the console and have a look on the console. If you press F12 and look at the console here, make sure you haven't got any errors. Now this is a Google page ad. You will see Google page ads, just ignore them, as they will have issues like Google indication and stuff, but that's fine. You can just leave that. But you can also run your page speed here through the Lighthouse, so you can generate a report. Now I've optimized my website to be very fast, so I'm hitting top marks. So if I show you this, I'm running the Google Lighthouse. It will give us the page speed and stuff. So if you run it, if you click on the F12 Lighthouse, you can see we're hitting top scores here, performance, top scores, 100. There's certain plugins and stuff that we can use it within WordPress to improve our scores, and I will tell you guys that all later on. But the first thing is like the SEO, so we'll talk about that later on. Make sure that's right. That's the first thing, okay? Second thing is adapt and fix your website core web vital. Make sure that your website's hitting 100%. Go onto Google PageSpeed for developers and put your URL in there, search it, make sure your CLS is low, your LCP, LPC is low. Make sure you don't have much things shifting on your screen. Make sure you're hitting on all three targets like good scores. Make sure it's either green or amber. You don't want nothing to be red. If it's amber, you still need to improve. Make sure it's green. You always want to maintain that evergreen kind of content. Retain a good base score. We just talked about that. Try and create evergreen content, so it's content that doesn't die out. Content, put all your effort into the content that you make. Don't just write 500 words and that's it. Write 2,000 words. Go deep into details. Create those H2 header tags. Do what you need to do to gain that interest of the reader. Use a lot of images, use attractive ads, don't overdo it with the ads and stuff. So that's my main killer at the moment. That seems to be killing a lot of websites, is they over optimize with ads, and Google's penalizes. Like once you hit anything over 3 or 4 ads on your website, Google's like, oh, hold up, there's too many ads, but is it alright? They'll check it. They have a manual people that work in the office now that go around checking every website manually, so it's not just bots. And they will rank you. They will, say, oh no, this and that. So if you got 10 ads, make sure they're placed well. If they're placed well, you won't get penalized. It takes a manual person to actually come in and say, boom, like, no, there's something wrong here, So yeah, make sure that's correct. Produce at least 11 new content each month to retain good ranks. 11 is the golden number at the moment in SEO. If you got a blog or business website or whatever you're doing, 11 new posts a month is what is aimed at the moment to gain good ranks and keep the good ranks. You see, it seems to be like anything above 11 is even better if you can. If it's below 11, it's not that great, but anything above 11. So I say if you do 12, you know you're gonna keep gaining new keywords, right? The more new keywords you gain, the more popularity you gain. Just don't forget, every time you create a new page, from that new page, try to create at least 3 to 4 different links to your other pages. Try to link your content like a brain kind of storm, you know. Like if you got this, you can also get this and this and this. Write about these 3 other topics. There's three topics. You can go in here, but you can also go back here and create this huge communication kind of brainwave on your website. This is very, Google bots love this because they're like flicking through like, look, this is linking here, this is linking here. They're creating this kind of sitemap, right? Artificial sitemap, and they can see how everything's linking. And when there's a great linkage between things, Google's like, this is a great layout, a really good page, like a lot of planning went into this website. So that's very good. That gives you, keeps you really, really nice and fresh. Make sure that you host your website on HTTPS. There's been a lot of talk, guys, about the HTTPS. We'll talk a lot more about that, but make sure your website is hosted on a secured protocol like HTTPS. If you haven't got that green lock here at the top, like we have over here, it's not green, but you guys know what I mean. You can get one from Cloudflare. We have done a tutorial, so you can see it. There's a link in, you can look at a tutorial on All SEO Basics. If you're on YouTube, there's a link below. Now, how to install Cloudflare is free, so you don't have to pay for the certificate, the green certificate, the trusted certificate. As you can see, if we click on here, we've got a Cloudflare certificate here. So basically, that's kind of destroying and filtering through our traffic. I shouldn't say destroying, but what Cloudflare does is a middle person, right? So it's like the DNS. You got users connecting to Cloudflare, and then Cloudflare's coming to our website. Now, if there's any bad things, any bad bots trying to come through, Cloudflare's like, nope, you're not going through. They won't let any bad, so it prevents hackers and stuff and people trying to come through as well. So that's why I tend to use a third-party security certificate here on our website. As you can see, we've got HTTPS here at the front. If you haven't got that HTTPS and you've got that HTTP, I don't know many websites that have at the moment, but if you do, Google have responded in a recent post that websites will be penalized and you will see huge and dramatic changes. So this is something to definitely consider. If you don't know, maybe hire someone. If you want, you can drop us a comment. We'll be happy to help you at a small fee on All SEO Basics. Okay, so that's the 6th part. 7th part is update any outdated pages and content. Now, let's say you've posted a blog saying the top 10 vitamins to take when you're exercising, for example, right? Well, now think about this. You posted this in 2001, let's say, and now it's 2021. So that page hasn't been updated, but you've been ranking first, and you slowly drop to second, third, and you're now like ranking 6 in Google. So there's 5 pages in front of you. You can gain your ranks back if you click on that page, okay, edit the page, add the newcomers, like the new vitamins that have come out, take the old ones out. And then if you're on WordPress, you can enable modified date on your blog. So it'll show up at the top, the modified date. And this will basically come up, right? It'll come up on the page. It'll let the spider, Google spider, know that this page has been modified. Google will know that it's been modified anyway. You don't even need to put the date, because once they scan the page, you're like, there's changes here. And then they'll see that, WordPress leaves a little trademark, or every time you edit a page, it updates the last updated page on there, and you've got that in WordPress. I don't know if you guys are using Joomla or any other CMS kind of websites, but you need to make sure that you update the date it's been last updated. Now, there's a meta tags that you guys can use. We'll talk more about that later if you don't know how to do that. Very important, that, and you can actually gain your ranks back within a few months just by doing that change. Very, very important. Web page schema. Yes. As you guys know, there's been, this start of this year, 2021, we had a change in SEO, in the core update that we've had earlier this year. And it was all about the image, company's image. So it was about, who are you? What do you do? There's so many blogs and there's so much competition out there now that you need to show and give a proof, to who are you. So like the author, who's the author? Who's written this? If there's an author that's written his website and he's qualified SEO engineer, and you've got someone who's just sitting at home learning and doing it, the qualified SEO engineer would obviously rank higher than anyone else. So the web page schema, what it does is it's something that Google loves at the moment. So you can actually set this to a page and you enable it like, is this an article? Is this an entertainment page? Who's written it? Are there any social links? So you link it to the show. If you got a social link page, you can link it to the social link page. Also comes with the schema also looks at the image of the company, but as well as like, do you have social media profiles? How many followers have you got? How many followers are you gaining? It looks at all of that. So if you go and you decide to buy 5,000 followers for Twitter, and then it just stays there, Google's like, hold on a minute, they know, the artificial intelligence, they will know that you've purchased these and they're fake, because you're not gaining constantly. That's why a lot of people now, they tend to drop feed their likes and followers couple a day, like 10, 15. It's dirty, it's black hat. Does it work? I can't really comment on that because I've never actually counted on that to work for me as a ranking factor, and I don't think anyone else should in the same way. You should always try to get green and do everything the right way to gain the right customers and to gain the right traffic. Right, so that's the schema. You should definitely look at that if you haven't. Okay, make sure you Google all of these 10 points that I'm outlining. We'll talk about every one of these later on. So if you just join this podcast, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow us on allseobasics.com, all one word. Talking so much. Okay. So maintain and traffic to social media platforms, we just talked about that. Work on link building. This is like the main thing that ranks, like gives you ranks. You need to basically look at websites in your field, okay? And you need to write comments. Like if you see someone posting something about SEO, let's say for example, go onto their blog and write. I've just written about this topic. Really cool. I would like to add, if you guys are interested, check it out. Here it is. Boom. Most of the cases, people, bloggers will just put that down as spam. Try to reach out to the content creator. Ask him, if I pay you a certain amount, would you be able to put a link to me, or something quite creative? Just keep looking for websites that you can build your links, and the more links you build coming to you, the Google's like, oh, they've got this now. Oh, they got this new link, this website. Every website has got a domain authority score. That's the way it works, right? So there's websites like mos.com, SEMrush, Neil Patel, and you've got other ones like SpyFu, where you're going to get the keywords. But there's all these SEO tools, and it's mainly based on the domain authority score. The higher your domain authority and the web page authority, the higher you're going to rank. In order to gain a better rank on certain pages, you need certain traffic coming in. So the more richer the traffic coming in, the better. So, but there's a little trick there. You don't want to link from a low domain authority website. So what you want to do is you want to maybe set up a SEMrush account. It's free, and there's a link building tool in projects you can use. When you click on the left hand side, there's my project. You can add your website, and then you can click on something called link building on SEMrush. And what it does is you can put in your keywords and then search for your competitors or search for people you can link with, and it'll give you all this list of websites that if they link to you, they will do really well, and they will go from the top to the bottom. And you will have the domain authority at the top, and it'll be something like 90 at the top, and it'll go down. if you can get any website linking to you with a domain authority above 30, that's just perfect. Anything above 20 is still great. Anything above 10 is doable. 0 to 10, don't even bother asking these websites to link to you. They're most likely spam or stuff like that. You don't want that. These are toxic backlinks. And toxic backlinks have negative impact on your image presence. So you don't want to do that. So we'll talk more about toxic backlinks. We've got more about toxic backlinks here. But this is the main thing we want to talk about today is, what should you do when you have a major drop in a core update? Well, when you see a core drop in your traffic, what you want to do is just keep producing your content like you did for the first 4 to 5 weeks. Don't panic. Give it at least. Everyone tends to say 2 weeks, but I say 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. The longer the better, because you can actually see the whole impact it's had, and then you can start reflecting on those pages that you've lost. So concentrate on your SEO, your EAT score, so that really reflects on all you can EAT score on your ranks. We'll talk about more EAT in the future. So again, make sure you sub and join this podcast if you haven't already. And yeah, this will fix up like the main, you need to fix up the and maintain positive results within your web core vitals as well, and your page speed. Very, very important. And so far, what can we say about this latest November core update? At the moment, there's not much we can say. No one really has been hit dramatically. Now, this is a Christmas update, obviously, so a seasonal update for shopping. So we're expecting that e-commerce website will be the ones that will benefit from this the most, and blogs with ads and stuff, they will benefit from this the most. Time will tell. We've only a couple of days into the core update, so I have few websites, but all I've seen is just small kind of drops and small kind of gains is what I've been gaining most of the time, but always gaining more than I'm losing. And that's all of my websites have always been gaining more than losing. And that's why I'm here trying to teach you guys how to get it right. So I just want to thank you guys for listening to this podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you join us on YouTube. All SEO Basics is the username. And also join this podcast. If you're listening to it on here, make sure you follow us for more. We have a lot more great SEO tutorials. From here today, this is Pav. I want to thank you for watching. Take care and see you guys again soon. Peace out.